human beings have free will. As a result, scumbags come in all shapes and sizes and colors and from all different groups. And often they like to tell you which group they're coming from, especially in the case of uh, groups that are supposedly not on the side of where these particular not supposed to be on the side of where these particular individuals are. Jewish Voice for Peace is one such organization. It is a proudly I would say anti-Semitic organization, but certainly anti-Israel. That is the only reason for their existence. They are, of course, I don't know how many of them are Jewish, but certainly the founders and many of the members are. They're certainly not for peace. They are for war until the Jews in the Jewish state are exterminated. And yeah, they are rearing their ugly head again. So you may have seen them before. I think we've spoken about them before when they were protesting, disrupting everyday life for everyday people in New York City and elsewhere, because that's what such people do. If you are a savage, you tend to uh, advertise your savagery to those who really do not want anything to do with you. So today we're going to talk about some of the recent stuff that they're doing, including campaigning in the US and helping fund anti-Zionist, what they call anti-Zionist politicians, or at least removing what they call Zionist politicians. Welcome to the Daily Objective. I'm Razi Ginsburg, joined by Daniel Kraus. Daniel, your initial thoughts on this group and on some of the stuff that they are proud of and known for.
Well, first, just for clarity of what's the story currently is basically this group, Jewish Voice for Peace. They are a charitable organization, so they cannot endorse any political candidates. But I have a separate organization, a separate arm called Jewish Voice for Peace Action. And with that one, they basically they want to spend more efforts in this specific one, and they want to support more candidates. Now, I've looked on the website. First of all, it's uh, their website is not really up to date, and many links don't go anywhere. So I recommend checking that out for people who are managing that. But also, they have 2024 endorsements. So if you look at them, what would you expect? Maybe some, it's a Jewish organization, so maybe they would have some Jewish candidates, or a broad range of opinions. These are the people they endorsed in 2024: Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Cory Bush, Ayanna Pressley, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, and Jamal Bowman. Exactly what you would expect, the members of the squad. Not only these people are not pro-Israel, these people are not pro-America. These people have nothing to do with American values. These people have nothing to do with Jewish people themselves, besides hating on that specific group, besides actively trying to do everything around that group and to stop Israel with doing anything. Um, Going back to the organization itself, Voice for Peace, I'm not sure if we ever talked about them directly, but we did talk about things they have done. So one of the things people might remember is after and now I cannot even remember his name, the Palestinian who was arrested or sort of was to be deported. I'm not sure exactly what.
Mahmoud Khalil or the
Khalil,
senator?
Khalil, Khalil. So when that happened, their reaction to it was to occupy Trump Hotel, which was breaking law. This is what Jewish Voice for Peace does, as many organizations like that. They go out and break law. I have very little understanding how an organization that is actively promoting this kind of basically disturbance is allowed to exist. But from little research I've seen is basically if they start becoming too crazy, something can be done to them. But usually, especially if they are not sort of committing omit violence, but rather just do this sort of peaceful protest, by occupying buildings, then they usually can get away with it. But yeah, so this is like the basic description. They are purely anti-Israel. I can go into their core values, but their goal is the destruction of the Israeli state, and it's thankfully they don't have that much funding to play with. But the fact that they are getting more involved into politics should definitely worry, be worrisome.
Yeah. Thank you, Jonathan, for the super chat, and thank you, Jonathan, for another super chat, and thank you, Bonnie, for the super chat. Um, Yeah, I mean, the fact that they are, committing crimes, breaking the law in the United States, in their activism is, of course, not a surprise. As we always say on this channel, those who support savages are also savages just by the fact that you support them, and then, of course, you can expect them to act in accordance with their savagery. And we know that anti-Zionism isn't just anti-Semitic; it's also anti-American wherever you find it. It's sometimes clearer to see on the American left in their so-called anti-Zionism, but it's pretty clear to see on the American right as well. Tucker Carlson may be MAGA, but he is very very much anti-American, and you see that in the people he interviews in friendly interviews, and you see that in the way he interviews people when it's not a friendly interview. Tucker Carlson hates everything about what America is, and so does everybody in the anti-Israel camp, which is why, again, I repeat, the reason why this channel focuses on this is because it is the biggest issue here in the West. There is no issue that is bigger than this, because it highlights the enemy within, and yeah, it's an enemy that if we don't defeat, we're all gonna look like Gaza pre or post October 7th. And it's very interesting to see how seemingly in America, we talked about Palestine Action in the UK being outlawed for terrorism, for committing actual violent crimes. You don't see that for some reason in America with groups that do commit crimes all the time. I mean, you see the Palestine News Network is what they're called, right? It's I don't know if that's an official organization or what is it, but it's they get banned occasionally from social media and then they pop up again. And it's the same people getting away with all they do is violence against Jews, and then post it and video it and post it on social media. And they're allowed to get away with it. So I don't know. I mean, free speech does not include attacking people. And it seems that when you do attack people, but it's specifically Jews or pro-Israel people, you kind of get a pass for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And to sort of again to go into more about this organization. So if you go to their website and you go to their core values, it starts. They have three. I think the third one is like racial justice or something like that. That one's not that important. But the first one is accountability to Palestinian partners. So if you have a Jewish organization, or at least claiming to be, and their first thing is about the Palestinians, what else can this be than a purely anti-Israel organization? And they do call themselves anti-Zionist, which again, anybody who calls themselves anti-Zionist, they are not critical of Netanyahu or have just certain problems with the Israeli society. They are calling for destruction of Israel. This is what is their goal. This is what they want. We have problems with Israeli government, doesn't make us anti-Zionist. So it's accountability to Palestinian partners, and it says our accountability to Palestinian partners is an ongoing process of deep listening, continual relationship building, and genuine reassessment. We are accountable to Palestinian-led organizations and coalitions that represent and are themselves accountable to Palestinian communities and who share the values of freedom, justice, and equality for all people. What organization, Palestinian organization, calls for freedom, justice, and equality of all people? Are we putting Hamas there? Is that or Fatah, Palestinian Authority, but or even the representatives within the people like Rashida Tlaib or Ilhan Omar? Are these people who are calling for freedom, justice? They are calling for oppression. They want to through things like socialism, they want to enslave people. This is their goal. You cannot hide from that. And what Palestinian group would call for equal rights with the Jewish people? What Palestinian groups calls for one state where all the Jewish people will definitely be protected? Even Arabs within Israel, many of them are not calling for such a state. Many of them are calling for destruction of Israel. So again, trying to act as these people, I have no idea how people can get away with it. And you get this from pro-Palestinians, and you get this from a lot of communists that they have this like ideal state that they can say, no, but this is what they want. But anytime a Palestinian group takes power or a communist group takes power, you one kills Jews, the other one kills rich people. This is and usually they do both of them. This is what you always get. Yet somehow they can get away with, well, we are not supporting Hamas. We are just calling for equal state, or we are just calling for equality. Yet this is not what happens. You have to look at reality. You have to look at what is actually happening when these groups take power. When groups like these take power, Jews get killed.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan, for the super chat. The using words not as what they mean is a big thing in politics. The right does it as well. The left does it maybe a bit more. And the pro-Palestinian anti-Israel movement does it every time they open their mouth. I mean, there is no movement in the world today, no prominent movement more genocidal, openly genocidal than Palestinianism. Palestinianism is the call to kill all the Jews. That's what it is. It's the call to kill all the Jews specifically in Israel. But globalize the Intifada is one of their slogans, and that means kill all the Jews wherever they are. And yet they use the word. They've gotten the word genocide now. Now in public discourse in the West, when the word genocide is used, it is used to discuss to or to refer to Israel's half-ass defensive measures in Gaza. That's what it's referring to. It's referring to the fact that Israel, sends soldiers to die so that not too many Palestinians would be killed when Israel fights murderers. That is how the word genocide is used, and they get away with it. Now, if you look, I also looked through the website by the way, I'm naive enough that when I sent Daniel the title before the show, I sent him the title. I wrote Jewish Voices for Peace because I thought maybe these people actually think of some of themselves as individuals, but of course they're not. They're one voice. And again, everything in that sentence is presumably everything is a lie. It's not. I don't know how many of them are Jewish. It's not. But it's not just if you call yourself Jewish Voice for Peace, you assume everybody there is Jewish, and I'm certain that that's not the case. Um, it's not it's not voices. They're using violence in some cases, and they are very much not for peace. They are for Palestinianism, i.e., the extermination of the Jews. In one of their videos that I saw, they talked about how the Jews came to the land and removed indigenous people. Anybody who uses the term indigenous people is a bigot. Also, that also goes for pro-Israel people who say we're the indigenous people of the land. You don't have a right to a land because you can trace your ancestry back to the land 100 years, 1,000 years. It doesn't matter. That is not what rights are. And if that is your argument, then yeah, you have no actual argument. But it is, and I bring this up a lot. It's very unique how indigenous people is used as a legitimate argument when it comes to the argument for those who want to exterminate the Jews. Like, yeah, they're you know it's resistance when they kill Jews. It's the barrier for peace is settlements, i.e., Jews building homes where they live, where nobody else lived before, is because it's on the land of the indigenous Palestinian people. Again, people who were invented about 60 years ago. And yeah, you get away with that, and others. It's on the one hand, it's good that others don't get away with that. Like in England, when people talk about this is a country for the indigenous people of England, those are white supremacists, and we acknowledge that they're white supremacists, and we shun them. They're shunned from society. For some reason, pro-Hamas, pro-Palestine, i.e., anti-Semitic people, are not shunned from society. They're celebrated because they are somehow supposedly on the side of the victims. So yeah, don't let these people get away with their war on language. It comes out again every single time they open their mouth. They say something dishonest, whether it's full on, Israel is like when they go into specifics, like Israel is starving Palestinians and so on, things that we know are not true, although should be true. Israel absolutely should starve the people of Gaza. That is the right thing to do, and it would end the war and bring about peace. But if when in doubt, lie is the strategy of these people, and it's true when they completely redefine words and even tell you that they're redefining words, as Ireland, the Irish government, and Amnesty International have done when they said, yes, we're claiming that Israel is committing a genocide, but also for legal purposes, in order to convict Israel, we want to change the definition of the word in the law. Uh, so yeah, these people get away with too much. We're not going to let them get away with it, and you shouldn't either.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, this whole idea, I guess I can comment on of indigenous people. As I said, it's collectivistic. It's bigoted. It and it's also just like stupid. This idea that what people shouldn't move, like you should just stay, like the town you were born in, you should stay forever and not do anything. Like, and also like it has no definition, right? There is no standard of like how far you go. There are no indigenous people to North America and South America. People moved there from like 15 to 20,000 years ago. Like nobody was born there. People also move everywhere. Even the so-called Palestine before the establishment of Israel. It's not like Jewish people were the only one migrating there. Arabs were migrating there also. Why magically all Arabs that move there for some reason are indigenous to the land, but Jewish people, not to mention Jewish people, were there even before the sort of the invention of Zionism, and them started to migrating a bit more. No, those are not indigenous because reasons, because there is no reason. The fact is that this tactic of indigenous, as you said, it's only used as a tactic. The same way how, if you are in England and you say England to the English or something like that, you are viewed as racist, as you should be. And this applies everywhere else. So people who are calling or saying that it should be a Palestinian state, or they are the ones who are, this is their home region or whatever, it's again ridiculous. And it's not a standard that anybody else uses. It's only used against Jewish people, specifically in this region. I can also read, they have the second core value, commitment to Jewish communities. Maybe they are calling for protection of Israel. They say, we organize our people and we resist Zionism because we love Jews, Jewishness, and Judaism. Our struggle against Zionism is not only an act of solidarity with Palestinians, which is funny, they cannot even talk about Jewish people without mentioning Palestinians, continuing, but also a concrete commitment to creating the Jewish futures we all deserve. We are fighting for a thriving Judaism and Jewish communities, for a multiplicity of Jewish cultures, and for the future of Jewish people. And the way they do that is arguing against the one state where Jewish people can actually be safe. As we've seen, even the second safest country for Jewish people, meaning America, is not safe. If you are simply connected to not even Israel, Judaism in any way, you will be targeted. If you go to a synagogue, you will be targeted. If you don't go to a synagogue, you will be targeted and either killed or hunted for just because of your relation to Judaism. And I can only imagine what their answer would be if I said them. Jewish Voice for Peace would probably say, as we've talked about with the recent sort of poll that came out, the only reason why Jewish people are hunted is because of existence of Israel. If only Israel goes away, violence against Jews will stop.
Yeah, I mean the greatest city in the world, also the biggest Jewish city in the world in terms of population. And no, I'm not claiming that that is why, but Jewish communities generally tend to not have the same effect on a city as um, you know Muslim communities. Let's put it that way. Um, that city is now, it looks like there's a chance, and we're going to talk about this a lot over the coming months. Looks like there's a chance it will vote for a full-on, almost openly anti-Semite who supports Palestinianism, i.e., supports the extermination of the Jews, wants to defund the police. Again, he can't change U.S. policy, U.S. foreign policy as mayor of New York. He can defund the police in New York as mayor of New York, which means it's open season on Jews, and that is what many people in New York are actually voting for. Now, I don't think everybody who's voting for Mamdani is voting because they want the final solution to the Jewish question. I think some people are. I think others are voting because they want free stuff. They want mostly the successful to not be successful anymore. They want to use force against them to take whatever it is that they have. But it is evil nonetheless, and it is something. If it can happen in New York, there is nowhere in the world where you are immune from these people being able to ruin your your city or your country. Now, that thing. Thank you, Jonathan, for another super chat. That thing you read from I think the first point about we want everybody to live in peace and harmony or whatever. It wasn't the exact wording, but something to that effect. Which, of course, is as you said, that is West-splaining Palestinianism. That is something you only hear from pro-Palestinian people in the West. You never ever hear that from any actual Palestinian because they say what they mean and they mean what they say and they act on it, as we saw on October 7th. But yeah, if you wonder what these people who are, it's not that they misunderstand what the Palestinians say. It's not that they read the Hamas charter and think, okay, what they really mean is, the Jordan Peterson interview. What I think you're trying to say is, you mean everybody wants to live in peace and harmony. No, they're full online. But if you wonder what it what their plan is for the day that the Palestinians, take over and come for them. They have a foolproof plan, and we have it on tape. Daniel, let's roll the tape.
Looks like they're just finishing up the. Why are you? We're on your side! We're on your side! Holy shit! What? We're on your side! We're on your fucking side! What the fuck? What the fuck?
You got that? Pro-Palestine Jews, when they come for you, start with a thumbs up, then say, we're on your side, and then say, your last words should be, what the fuck? That's the sequence. Thank you, Bonnie, for the super chat. Daniel, parting thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what will happen. You have these pro-Palestinian groups calling for democratic state, calling for, this peaceful resolution, and then you have Hamas calling for the release of Marwan Barghouti, the architect of First Intifada. It's like this is what you, and you could say, oh, well, this is just Hamas. Marwan Barghouti is one of the most popular Palestinian figures because of his association with specifically violent resistance, as these people like to say, against the Jewish state. So, yeah, absolutely, Palestinians want violence, and these people who act as if, like, there is no difference between this and like people trying to defend Nazis in a similar way. Well, we just want, a democratic state. Well, yeah, but you're supporting a group that doesn't. So I don't know what you want to do with that. But yeah, these any sort of pro-Palestinian sort of support with hope that there's going to be some democratic state is not naive. It's you're actively evading what's going on. Funnily enough, I think at some point in their website they say they like call for peace from the United States to Palestine, which I like the implication that it stops at Israel, and then further no need for peace. The Iranians can fight each other, Afghanistan can fight each other, but or Syria can fight each other, but yeah, only up to this fictional state.
Yeah, the Barghouti point is an important one because, we talk sometimes about how it's not that there is a complete consensus about everything among Palestinians. There are different groups. Those different groups, the two main ones are Hamas and Fatah, and they have gone to war with each other and killed each other. But there is one thing that they are all united about, which is killing every last Jew, which is why Marwan Barghouti, who is Fatah, he's not a part of Hamas. He's not going to become a part of Hamas if and when he's released. This is why he is somebody that they want out. They know that he can further the Palestinian cause, the real Palestinian cause, not the everybody living together and suddenly becoming friends, but the real Palestinian cause because he has already furthered it in his past. That is his only claim to fame as a person, and that is why he is so popular among Palestinians. Thank you, Bonnie, for another super chat. Yeah, look, this is depressing stuff, but what isn't depressing is the fact that we talk about all the bad things that are going on in the world because of how important it is and how urgent the matter is. Because again, these people live among us. They're not. It's not that we only need to worry about the people in Gaza and they are far away. Um, but good people are doing great stuff in the world right now, and many of them uh, got to where they are because they were inspired by Ayn Rand's ideas. They applied the philosophical principles of Ayn Rand's philosophy of objectivism, have achieved tremendous success in various fields, leaders in their fields, and those are going to be the speakers at the Irreplaceable Spark conference, which is happening October 25th, 26th in Orange County, California. That is the biggest thing the Ayn Rand Center UK has done to date by far. You absolutely do not want to miss it, alongside the lecture hall, where there will be 2 days of full of many, many lectures. Those are going to be short lectures, 30 minutes. So we are going to pack those days with some great talks. Alongside it will be an expo of companies, of products, of services created by objectivists, showcasing to the world what people can do when they apply reason and um, really create greatness for humans on Earth. So make sure you sign up. There is a link in the chat and in the description. I believe our discounts for the two highest tiers of tickets go on until the end of the month, right? So yeah, tickets that include the banquet are $100 off. Tickets that are VIP tickets that get you pretty much close to unlimited access to the speakers and sponsors are $200 off until the end of July. Make sure you sign up and make sure you sign up to our mailing list for more information on that, for more information on other things. I am in the US for the next month and a half or so, promoting the conference, doing events. So if you are here as well, hopefully we'll get to meet. And if we don't get to meet when I'm here, hopefully we get to meet when I'm back here for the conference. All right, that is a very long commercial break at the end, but well justified one. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks everybody for watching. We are back tomorrow with the Daily Objective.